everyone. Welcome to Learn by Doing, where you pick up a quick concept that can be useful in your business or in your work right away. I'm excited to share with you what I know about how to take content and make them into beautiful presentation. This will be really helpful for startup founders, people who make presentations all the time, pitching, strategy documents, all the like. So follow me and let's get started. This is Gamma, and you can create an account for free. So there are three options here. You can either paste in the text, which is good if you don't really have something in place yet. You can generate a full presentation just from a prompt. You have an idea that you want to get a structure in place. And then the last one is that if you already have a doc or a presentation and you need to enhance it and make it better, this is where you can import the file or URL. In my case, I'm trying to create a measurement framework and I have the text and I'm just curious what it can do. I just pasted in my content here. What I want to create is a framework for measuring agentic AI effectiveness. I have three buckets that I want to include here. I've formatted them in a way that is hopefully clear. There's also clear sections and bullet points. I've indicated that I want this as a document and I want it in letter size. There's a couple of other options. In this case, it can either be pageless, so good for like articles and kind of Notion-like type doc, or A4, which is more international sizing. But I'm in the US, so I'm going to use letter sizing. I just put that in. It's giving me this interface, a prompt editor. Let's go. So it's now asking me, what about styling and the design? On the left here, I have the theme preview, which essentially show me what the title would look like, what's the paragraph would look like, what any button would look like. And then on the right, there are different themes that I can choose and see a preview on the left side. If I shuffle the theme, it will just pick one for me so that I can start seeing different options. I actually kind of like this because it fit with the themes that I have going on for Taylor. So I'm going to click this theme and start generating the design based on the content that I have. Now Gamma is taking the content that I have in the design and put it into a document design. On the left side here, what you're seeing are the pages. If you recall, something like a Adobe PDF reader or even preview. On the right side is where you'll see the actual design. And it has not only the content that I have shared, but also some of the filler content that the AI have generated. So it's taken the outline that I've given, having an intro to some of these metrics, and create an actual design out of it. I was really hoping for a design of the exact content that I already have. So I'm going to try to do that. I mean, I guess if I were to not generate just a button, but use some of this framework, I guess this is kind of like a better, more web-based design experience. So instead of getting Gamma to generate random output from my bullet points, I pull my bullet points into a document here using some of its block and build feature. There's ways that you can drop in different cards template and different blocks here. If you're familiar with things like Squarespace or Webflow, this is kind of how it's built. It's pretty intuitive. And then what I'm curious now is that the content is relatively in place. How much can Gamma beautify this content? So as you can see here, I have a title, I have some kind of header and some kind of descriptor. So first of all, I'm going to make sure that these bullet points are formatted in a way that maybe the system can understand. And then I will highlight this area and click on Edit with AI. You can write the text, expand upon what you're trying to say, or you can visualize key points. So I'm going to try to do that. I just click on visualizing key points. It's doing this card by card element. So you can see the difference between the suggested and the original. I'm going to just use this again and say visualize bullet points for this options as well. And then the last one that I'm seeing here is on the right to say visualize these bullet points. Okay, so right away, I have this bullet points the AI have created. The thing about this is that these titles are appearing in different places. So I'm going to try to simplify some of these so that they start on the same line. Again, this is where a designer mindset is helpful. Use your taste and make sure that you feel good about what it is that it's doing. And what I'm going to do is make some of these tags smaller. The way that this has been formatted, you always have a subtitle and some content underneath. Some of these points have it and some don't. I'm asking Claude to reformat this content and create a clear title and a brief explanation for each of these metrics following this format of title of the metric, colon, explanation, right? And I'm going to copy these back into the design. So I have included all this content into my page on Gamma. I think this is a good start. You can see this line here is where the paper will cut off. So what I want to do is maybe change the sizing of this text to have it a bit smaller so that I can fit more into the page. So you can already see that this used to cut off at the end here. And now with this changing of size, it's now going to fit. And where possible, if needed, I can also cut some of the text on this right column, right? Each of these area has 4 measurement and the third column has only 3. So it's an opportunity to include something else here, maybe a way to contact. That's what I'm thinking, is to include that card here. I'm going to add a basic blog and see if I can create something that could be attention seeking. So maybe this info box and say for more information and collaboration, please contact Judo. Okay. I'm going to make this small text. So now that we have the content in a good place, we have the title, the header, some of the descriptor, and some of this content block down below. It's time to think more about how to spice this up. I love iconography, and I would love to see if I can include some of this iconography in here. For iconography, it seems like it's only as a block, meaning it cannot be in the text itself. I would love to get some of this iconography more in line with this title, but instead it is on its own line, which is fine. There's a little bit of push and pull here where the platform has some limitation and then we have to adjust content as needed. I'm going to see the full power of Gamma's icon library and see how much we can use it. Gamma is treating all of these elements as an inline item. Instead of having iconography for each of these, I'm going to only include it in the top so we can save some space. Let's make sure that some of these is here. It was hard to make sure that everything started on the same line. So here we go. We have this document where we're talking about different genetic measurement framework, and I am ready to post this. I'm also going to export this into a PDF. I just click on generate PDF, which would then give me this document that I can use right away. I can also export this onto LinkedIn. I can export this to Google Slide. I can export this as PNG to PowerPoint. The export will have made with Gamma batch on it, as you can see down here, because I'm using the free version. If you decide to pay for the pro version, you can take that mark off. I hope that was interesting in terms of taking a piece of content that you have and trying to beautify it and use something like Gamma to get started quickly. My read is that it's as a platform, it's has some of the capability around building block and a built-in media generator that's pretty helpful. I still think that there's a lot of content and a lot of design that needs to happen on the spot. It's not as good from a one click button generate everything just yet, but it's getting there. So try it out. And I hope this is helpful for you to maybe create your own content, create that presentation, that pitch deck, and I look forward to hearing back from you soon. Thanks.